This is CBC Here and Now.
The effects on business and the business sector have certainly been realised by us all.
I really didn't see a whole lot that would help me personally in my business.
The province is offering support for small businesses, but will it help?
There's been people that no, we haven't seen at all before, and they're looking for bikes.
While many businesses are closed and struggling during the pandemic, the cycling industry is seeing a boom. Good evening, I'm Carolyn Stokes. There are no new cases of COVID-19 to report today. That means it's been 15 days without a single new case. The province lifted more restrictions today, plus announced new supports and deferred fees to help businesses. We'll get to the eased restrictions in just a minute, but we'll begin with the helping hand for businesses. Here and Now's Terry Roberts reports.
They're obviously under pressure, and we understand that.
Speaking in his role as Service NL Minister, Finance Minister Tom Osborne rolled out the latest in a series of measures today to help businesses.
As significant contributors to our provincial economy, the effects on business and the business sector have certainly been realised by us all.
That help comes in the form of the deferral or waiver of over $6 million in government fees. The measures will benefit a wide range of industries and are aimed at easing some of the pressures on companies and help free up some cash. Here are some examples. Employers can defer payment of Workplace NL assessments until August 31st, with no interest or penalties. Safety training certificates are extended to August 31st for things like confined space entry, fall protection, traffic control, and first aid. And there's help for the battered seafood industry with an elimination or rebates on aquaculture license fees and a deferral of Crown land fees for aquaculture sites. And fish processing companies and fish buyers will receive a full rebate on the cost of licensing fees. Businesses who are not using vehicles because of the pandemic will be eligible to have a portion of their registration costs refunded. And water use charges for last year related to microbreweries and wineries and aquaculture have been waived. Osborne acknowledged the initiatives were in response to pressure from the business community.
Much of this has been based on dialogue back and forth with the business community.
This business owner was less than impressed. She'll still have to pay $27,000 in Workplace NL assessments.
For many other small businesses, it's just another deferral.
Hiscock owns the hair factory in St. John's. Closed for over 2 months. 50 employees dependent on emergency benefits from Ottawa.
For our business, honestly, the incentives that have been introduced have not benefited our business at all. We are either too big for some or too small for others.
Like many other businesses, the hair factory is expected to open on June 8th.
We're all so very excited to be able to welcome back our clients.
But things will look different at the salon, one of the largest in the province.
We have all sorts of PPE that we'll be wearing.
Meanwhile, Osborne said the province will release more initiatives in the coming days.
Some of them considerably more significant than this today.
To help other sectors, including tourism, oil and gas, and mining. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Okay, now to those newly eased restrictions. Let's bring in Meg Roberts. So Meg, what can people look forward to?
Well, Carolyn, there's some good news for tennis fans, campers, and your dog. Tennis courts have reopened as of today, and although you will be required to bring your own equipment and will have to maintain physical distancing at all times, double tennis is permitted with members of your double bubble. And if you've got a shaggy dog at home, pet groomers are going to open Monday. The businesses must ensure proper cleaning and disinfection protocols. They also must ensure physical distancing and screen for potential COVID-19. Now, limited overnight camping will now be permitted when we reach alert level 3. That is slated for June 8th if things go well. That does not include tent camping. RVs and cabins must have a water supply, holding tanks, and personal washrooms. You're also required to be at least 30 feet between occupied campsites, and shared facilities like washrooms, showers, cookhouses, playgrounds, and clubhouses have to remain closed. The Premier says these decisions were carefully thought out.
These are decisions that come out of public health, not politically driven at all, but making sure that public health officials are given the time and the ability to make the decisions based on those particular operations.
Also, the Premier is reminding people if you did not renew your license, it will not be canceled and you'll still be in good standing until this is over. Now, there have been several changes made today, but provinces like PEI and New Brunswick, who have similar COVID-19 numbers as we do, opened a number of businesses today. Health Minister John Haggie says we just aren't there yet.
We're nearly at the decision point for going to alert level 3. I think it's important that, as Dr. Fitzgerald says, we hold fast, we hold the line, and we hurry slowly to make sure we do not trip or fall on the way.
And one other update, Carolyn, you won't be seeing as much of the trio's faces moving forward. That's because the provincial briefings will only happen 3 times a week. That's unless something changes, then they say they'll be right back at the table. Carolyn.
Thanks so much, Meg. That's Here and Now's Meg Roberts reporting live. And as you just heard, we still have over 2 weeks to go before you can get a haircut here, but this is how it might look when salons reopen. New Brunswick opened barber shops and salons today, and people lined up to get a new do. Those businesses had been shut down since the early days of the pandemic. New Brunswick also reopened gyms today. Fitness centers won't reopen here until alert level 2, which is not expected until late June or early July. It's one of the pandemic's pleasant surprises. Many people are getting into biking. Whether it's out for a ride on the streets or hitting the trails, the cycling industry has seen a boom as more people are getting active. As for the local bike shops, that means a spike in business. Here and Now's Troy Turner has this report.
All small businesses. The beginning of the pandemic was a scary time for local bike shops. Sales halted, repairs dried up, and staff had to be laid off. But then the weather changed, and so did people's habits.
Over the last, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks, now in Newfoundland the weather is actually just changing, but we've actually gotten extremely busy. So there is a bit of a silver lining for us in the pandemic, and that's been really good.
Repairs more than doubled, and sales have been so good the suppliers have been having trouble keeping up.
There's been people that we haven't seen at all before, and they're looking for bikes. They're bringing in any type of bike to get fixed up. It's been interesting seeing some of the bikes come in, and yeah, it's been these different walks of life that you never thought would get into riding or are getting excited about it and getting serious about it, I guess.
In this lifestyle change and rejuvenation of cycling, in an otherwise uncertain time, that has him most impressed.
I think people are sort of taking stock on their lives, and perhaps they're thinking, okay, well maybe I need to get out and enjoy myself a little bit. And I have all this time. Well, I don't necessarily need to be cooped up inside. We have lots of fresh air, we have lots of freedom and lots of space around here, so we can get out and enjoy it. And there's been a lot of positivity around that side of things.
Alfred said the national trend says business will continue to boom for the next couple months, which is great for the bottom line, he says, but also for the physical activity that's involved with cycling and the healthy lifestyle that it promotes. Troy Turner, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Well, traffic was flowing earlier today in Holyrood, but the Transportation and Works Department says drivers can expect delays up to 3 hours this evening because of construction work on the TCH near Triangle Pond. This is how it looked yesterday when drivers were stuck in a traffic jam for hours to get through this detour. Some people say they waited almost 5 hours to get to Conception Bay North. Transportation Minister Steve Crocker says they underestimated the volume of traffic because health guidelines call for essential travel only. The province is hoping to finish the construction project before we hit alert level 3 on June 8th, when more businesses reopen and traffic increases even more. Well, as the pandemic wears on, we are all finding ways to adapt to what people are calling the new normal. Physical distancing means social interactions will be different, but perhaps it's time for people the world over to adopt a time-honored greeting that's pretty popular in this province, the old wink and nod. Anthony had a lot of fun with this one. Just have a look.
This island's history of giving the world great inventions continues even during a pandemic. There's Marconi's first radio communication. The completion of the transatlantic cable. Telegram. And way before breathing masks were fashionable, St. John's Dr. Clooney McPherson gave our fighting boys a fighting chance. Take that, Kaiser Wilhelm. As life slowly returns to normal a century after the Spanish flu, the world looks here once again for ingenuity, this time in the form of a germ-free greeting. Handshakes? Hello, hands off, losers. Fist bumps? No, that's for chumps. Hang on, Vladimir. It's called a pandemic, Putin. World leaders like the rest of us are lost without their kisses, hugs, and handshakes. The globe is searching for a no COVID, no contact courtesy gesture, and the answer's right here.
Where you at?
How you getting on? Hey, no.
Mr. Andrews, perhaps you could share with me this rather quaint custom of your Newfoundland people, this nod and the wink. What is this?
You mean the wink and the nod?
The wink, that's it. What is that?
It's just a greeting. It's how are you doing?
And it's completely contact-free.
Contact-free, good for social distancing.
Do you have any sense as to how this became so popular amongst Newfoundlanders?
Not really, but I just think it's we're really good at it, and we've certainly perfected it. And I think people here know that, you know, when you get a wink and a nod, it's just someone wishing you a good day and saying hello. You at?
Could this greeting be Newfoundland's gift to the world as a hands-free way of saying hello, how are you?
We've given a lot of amazing gifts to the world, so I think this would be another good one to give.
Now, for those of us who are unfamiliar with this custom of Newfoundland people, can you show that in slow motion for me?
I think I just heard like 9 bones breaking my neck. Here we go.
So, is it the nod preceded by the wink, or does the wink precede the nod?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that happens, and I think everybody sort of got their own style. So, you know, you sort of got your own way you do it, you know, it just grows with you. You at. That's mine, right? You at.
It's hard to keep the name of this.
Got a little bit of a hiccup in the temperatures to kick off the weekend, but they're going to rebound quite nicely at the end of the weekend and the beginning of next week. We'll have all the details coming up.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Schools are out for the year, but one teacher is trying to keep his students engaged in a different kind of way. Andrew Greeley usually teaches in a classroom, but these days he could pop up anywhere, at the park, on a farm, even riding a unicorn. Greeley is trying to stay connected to his grade 1 students, so he came up with the Flat Mr. Greeley project. Inspired by the 1964 children's classic Flat Stanley, Greeley created a cartoon image of himself and mailed it to his students. They take Flat Mr. Greeley on all kinds of adventures, then post pics for the whole class to enjoy. Even though Greeley is separated from his students, he's still there for them in the dimensions that matter most.
Weather update is brought to you by the sold-out HCF Home Lottery. Thank you, Newfoundland and Labrador. Your support has been overwhelming. Prize winners will be announced on June 25th at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Spring is certainly flexing the muscles today. If we take a look at the temperatures across the board, it was beautiful in parts of eastern Newfoundland, reaching a high near 15 degrees in St. John's. That tied as the hot spot with Terra Nova as well. And earlier today, temperatures were quite nice for Corner Brook, 11 degrees and 8 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. But if we take a look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours, 17-degree temperature change as where we were today as of now for Gander, 12 in Corner Brook, and 16 degrees. St. John's dropped like a rock about an hour ago. Temperatures sitting in the single digits across the board, and still hanging on to some of that warmer air down along the south coast. 11 degrees in Burgeo, 13 in St. Lawrence, and we can thank a cold front sweeping through for that. Plenty of sunshine earlier this afternoon in the east, but those clouds have now moved in. Still seeing lots of clear skies along the south coast as well. But you can see those temperatures are dipping, and yeah, that's just going to continue in behind that cold front as we head through the overnight tonight. And along with these colder temperatures, we're already seeing some flurries earlier this afternoon for Gander. That risk of flurries pretty much across the board. The winds will ease a little bit for the east, down to about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour overnight, and then pick right back up as we head through the first half of tomorrow morning. Along the coastal areas of Labrador, winds are going to be gusty tonight, anywhere from 80 to as much as 100 kilometers per hour. Going to feel very much like winter with some wet snow, accumulating wet snow. We're looking at anywhere from 5 to as much as 10 centimeters for areas along the coast, even more as you head further inland. As we head through the day tomorrow, though, that area of low pressure is finally going to move off, but we've got another area, or a ridge of high pressure rather, moving in, and that's keeping the gradient tight. When that happens, those winds stay strong. So tomorrow afternoon, another breezy day, anywhere from 60 to as much as 90 kilometers per hour. The potential for some flurries in the first half of the day, and then we should actually see the skies clear into the afternoon and evening hours finally, and then as that ridge of high pressure starts to take more grip than that low pressure. So as far as temperatures go, a little bit cooler again tomorrow, back into those single digits pretty much across the board, with northwesterly somewhere between 60 to 80 kilometers per hour. And Sunday looks like the best day of the weekend by far. Temperatures rebounding back into those double digits for most. Winds will be much lighter, anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, but plenty of sunshine in the mix. And it looks like as we head into the beginning of the week, we'll see temperatures in the teens, but becoming a little bit unsettled into Tuesday and Wednesday. That's pretty much the story for Western Newfoundland. A little bit warmer, looking at anywhere from 17 to 18, maybe even 19 degrees for Central Newfoundland by the time Monday rolls around. It does look like a beautiful start to the week. And then we've got temperatures, look at that, 24 degrees for Eastern Labrador is what we're looking at for Monday, and then dropping back down on Tuesday, but still fairly pleasant. So I just wanted to share this great shot of Little Lake, Northwest River. Thank you so much to Krista for sending that in, and if you have any weather photos to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Time to find out who's celebrating. Happy 58th anniversary to Harold and Ruby Martin from Lewisport. Happy 50th anniversary to Barry and Ruth Parmiter of Wabush. Joan and Ephraim Pittman from Sconnors Cove are celebrating 50 years of marriage. A golden anniversary also for Gerald and Margaret Purcell from Bell Island. Congratulations to Sam and Katie Park of Gillams, who are celebrating their 63rd anniversary. Happy 54th anniversary to Nelson and Eileen Doucette. Happy 50th to Barbara and Don Bursey of St. John's. Happy 57th anniversary to Conrad and Patricia Davis from Pollards Point. Wishing a happy 50th anniversary to Alfred and Agnes Barnes of St. Albans, now living in the Goulds. Wishing Sam and Irene Holwell of Cartwright a happy 57th wedding anniversary. 50th wedding anniversary greetings going out to Ruby and Hughie Synyard of Riverhead, St. Mary's. Happy 66th anniversary to Gladys and Murdock Barter. Congratulations to Margaret and Laurence Peckford, who are celebrating their 56th anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary today to Anne and Bert Goodyear of Little Catalina. Wishing George and Keziah Green of Happy Valley Goose Bay a happy 50th anniversary. Now to the birthdays. Happy 90th birthday to Florence Blunden in Clarenville. Happy 99th birthday to Helena Churchill from Paradise. Happy 91st birthday to Eliza Hodge in Flowers Cove. Happy birthday to Mary Everly in Botwood, who is celebrating her 95th. Happy 100th birthday to Jessie Wareham of Arnold's Cove. Happy 92nd birthday to Ronald Warford of Pleasant View, now living in Grand Falls-Windsor. Birthday greetings going out to Rita Sims of Burgeo, who is celebrating her 90th birthday. Happy 97th birthday to Joan Bradley of Eastport. Happy 91st birthday to Jim Dix of Harbour Buffett, now living in Harbour Grace. Happy 96th birthday to Nellie Seward of Gooseberry Cove, now living in Clarenville. Best wishes to Cassandra Penny, who is celebrating her 100th birthday. She's from St. Anthony and now lives in St. John's. Happy 93rd birthday to Gladys Laurence of Isle of Mort. Happy 93rd birthday to Hazel Ringer of Harbour Lacou, now living in Labrador City. Happy 96th birthday to Cecilia Emberley from Placentia. Happy 98th birthday to Edna Chin in Gander. Happy 94th birthday to Mita Shirley of Marystown. Charlie Starks is turning 98. He's from Greens Pond and now lives in Mount Pearl. Happy birthday. And happy 100th birthday to Myrtle Hodnott, who had a virtual birthday party. Just have a look. Happy birthday to you. Ms. Hodnott is at the Pleasant View Manor in Lewisport, and staff there usually throw a big birthday for residents who reach the 100 mark. And despite all the health restrictions in place, they planned a big virtual bash on Facebook Live with performances and video greetings from family and friends. Ms. Hodnott even played a couple of tunes on piano herself. Looks like it was a wonderful celebration. Well, high school students across the country are getting ready for a different kind of celebration tonight. These teens are practicing their dance moves for a nationwide virtual prom starting at 9:30 Newfoundland time. It was organized by the Student Life Network as a way for teens to celebrate their graduation despite pandemic closures. Many have been participating in advance with the Prom Wave Challenge on TikTok, where students are performing and waving to their fellow grads in a short video. Well, as we leave you on this fine Friday evening, here's a tranquil sight to enjoy. This video of what looks like a family of caribou going for a stroll in a river. Kyle Petton sent this to us. It was shot yesterday at Piper's Hole River near Swift Current. Thank you so much, Kyle, for sending this in. It's a beautiful sight to see. Thank you so much as well for spending part of your evening with us. Hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. Coming up next is Power and Politics. Have a great night.